In the competitive landscape of the Chinese entertainment industry, fame moves like a storm, sudden, intense, and impossible to ignore. For many artists, a breakthrough role means overnight visibility, a surge of followers and invitations to the biggest stages. But for Yu and Tian Xuning in 2025, it felt more like a lightning strike that forever altered the digital horizon around them. Their breakout roles in the hit series Revenged Love did more than make them stars. They became symbols of a subculture with global reach, a fan ecosystem that thrived not just on admiration but on active participation, emotion, anticipation, and narrative ownership. This was not a gradual rise. It was a shock to the system: explosive viral growth, trending labels across platforms, and intense fandoms that emerged almost overnight. And with that blinding fame came a level of scrutiny, controversy, and emotional weight that most actors do not experience in an entire lifetime. Hello fans. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and click on the post notification to get notified whenever I upload a new video. At the core of this rise was Revenged Love, a series that became an unexpected phenomenon not just because of its storyline but because of the way audiences connected emotionally with the characters and the actors portraying them. Yu and Tian Xuning did not just act beside each other. They responded to each other in ways that felt instinctive, reflective, and deeply human. Their chemistry was layered with subtext, emotional vulnerability, and unspoken dialogue that turned each scene into a conversation within the audience's collective imagination. Audience engagement went far beyond views and likes. Fan edits layered emotional music over pivotal scenes. Reaction videos pulled millions of views as communities across continents shared theories, interpretations, and emotional reflections. Memes spread rapidly, but what made this moment unusual was not humor but sincerity. Viewers were not laughing at the content but feeling with it. They were dissecting nuance, resonating with vulnerability, and sharing across borders because something in that dynamic felt personal. But if fame is lightning, it also brings heat, intensity that burns both outward and inward. Public and media attention did not settle on Yu and Tian Xuning gently. It was relentless. Every post, comment, interview, and public appearance were scrutinized for meaning. Their on-screen personas bled into public interpretation. The boundary between narrative, character, and human life blurred on digital platforms. Fans reacted not just to roles but to perceived gestures, non-verbal cues, and imagined emotional alignments between the actors themselves. Fan devotion in the digital age can feel overwhelmingly positive, but it also carries complexity. A fervent following can transform affection into expectation and expectation into pressure. Yu and Tian Xuning found themselves navigating a space where the public's emotional investment refused to stay within boundaries. Admirers expected them to maintain a certain image: artistic, vulnerable, but always accessible. The reality of being constantly observed created a new form of emotional labor. Before they knew it, every personal post became a topic of debate, every expression a potential headline. The actors were no longer just performers. They were narratives constantly updated in public view. The entertainment industry itself added another layer of challenge. China's film and television landscape in 2025 was both bustling and highly regulated. Market demands pushed for quick turnarounds, evolving audience preferences shaped content development, and authorities watched cultural trends closely. In this environment, longevity required not just talent but strategic decision-making and emotional resilience. Actors had to choose roles that sustained visibility without repeating themselves, balancing audience expectation with artistic growth. Yu and Tian Xuning had to adapt quickly. Maintaining momentum after a peak moment is one of the toughest challenges in any career, and especially in the competitive arena they found themselves in. Overnight success is not enough if it is not followed by purposeful choices that reinforce an artist's identity and range. They took on roles that challenged preconceptions, participated in media formats that expanded their reach, and learned to navigate a world in which public image was a daily negotiation. Digital technology amplified these dynamics. Platforms like Weibo, Douyin, and international forums gave fans direct access to their favorite stars. That access was a double-edged sword. On one hand, it allowed engagement and affection to flow directly between artist and audience. On the other hand, it opened doors for intrusive attention, misinterpretation, and rumor. In the era of instant updates, it became easy for misinformation to spread faster than truth. Yu and Tian Xuning found themselves becoming subjects of narratives they did not write, interpretations they did not intend, and speculation they did not invite. The strongest response from both was not reactionary but disciplined self-management. They learned early that some silence is intentional and not weak. They understood that clarity is not always about speaking when asked but about intentionality in what they choose to share. This emotional intelligence became a necessary survival skill. Navigating online narratives meant protecting personal life while maintaining respectful engagement with fans. Every post was a decision, every story shared was weighed for impact. Their public personas became carefully calibrated representations of self, not fake but intentional. Through this all, they also faced the challenge of high expectations from their fan base. Modern fandom culture does not passively consume. It participates. It imagines, it connects, it binds personal emotion to a story arc. The boundary between an actor's on-screen persona and their real life became harder and harder to defend. Fans wanted access to emotion beyond performance. They wanted continuity of character even when the cameras stopped rolling. This created a dynamic where appreciation sometimes tipped into pressure and love sometimes slid into entitlement. For both actors, this manifested as an ongoing balancing act. Public expectation versus personal reality. Character interpretation versus lived experience. Tactical visibility versus emotional privacy. They discovered that the roaring applause of fans could bring both affirmation and anxiety. The pressure to maintain an idealized image weighed against the need to remain true to self. The emotional landscape of celebrity is rarely linear. It is a negotiation of stability within a storm of observation. Another significant challenge was the rapid pace of industry demand. Production schedules are grueling. Timelines tighten. Market trends shift without notice. What audiences expect today might be obsolete tomorrow. Staying relevant therefore required both artistic courage and professional strategy. Choosing successive roles became a decision rooted in professional identity, not just popularity. Reinventing oneself without losing authenticity became a major part of their career development. And there was no escaping the role of digital platforms in this evolution. The very tools that propelled them to fame, social media, live streaming, fan interactions, also created potential for intrusion. Every online presence became a space where both admiration and misinformation could flourish. Managing online narratives meant constantly monitoring tone, timing, and implications of every share. Personal privacy became something to safeguard rather than assume. Yu and Tian Xuning had to grow comfortable with intentional absence and strategic visibility. Their story reveals the multifaceted nature of achieving fame today. It is not enough to succeed artistically. Success must be sustained through emotional intelligence, public strategy, and self-preservation. It demands the ability to read not only scripts but cultural context, audience expectation, and regulatory shifts. In the modern celebrity landscape, the narrative extends far beyond the role. Actors must navigate personal branding, fan culture, media interpretation, and personal life management simultaneously. Today their journey reflects not just their talent but the emotional labor they invested in maintaining momentum. They faced intense observation not with bitterness but with adaptation. They chose to grow rather than to react. They learned to lean into discipline rather than vulnerability alone. Their dedication to craft remained constant, but how they presented themselves evolved with the digital world around them. Fans watching from the outside are drawn to both the emotional connection and the strategic resilience. Every announcement becomes significant not just because of what it reveals but because of what it protects. Every silence holds intention. Every image shared carries meaning. The thrill of celebrity is understood not only in admiration but in the complexity it introduces into private life. And through all of this, the story of Yu and Tian Xuning remains compelling because it is a human story too. It reflects how talent must be matched with wisdom. How visibility can create both opportunities and challenges. How success in the digital age requires adaptability, emotional discipline, and a deep understanding of the audience one serves. Their rise, their scrutiny, their growth, and their ability to navigate chaos reveals a truth about contemporary stardom. It is not only about who you are on screen but how you sustain yourself off it. The digital landscape is forever changing, and those who master it are not merely performers, they are storytellers of their own narrative. Their journey is not just a success story. It is a testament to endurance, strategy, and the emotional resilience required to remain relevant in an industry that never stops watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on the post notification to get notified whenever I upload a new video.